Hey everyone, once been here at the Battle Report. So we finally get to Game 1 of Buckeye Battles 2015. Bring out your dead, Empire versus a Vampire Count's army. Um, yeah, so it kind of got off to a weird start because my opponent ran into some traffic problems getting to the tournament. So we're starting late. Everybody else is well into their turn one, and we're finally just starting to deploy. And didn't really throw me off, but it's like, oh my gosh, we've got to really hustle to get through this. Um, But when I saw his list, I'm like, I don't know if I see me getting a 20 nil, and this you can get like, I guess it's 20 to 5 would be an absolute blowout, and then you get up to 5 points in scenario objectives. I don't know if I see me getting a huge win on this, but I like my chances of getting a nice solid mid-level win, which, especially on a big tournament like this, I like getting the first game or two. Sometimes it keeps me from winning the tournament because there's somebody that blows out all their opponents, but my experience has been that if I try to blow out every opponent, I just make stupid mistakes. So I'm pretty happy with this matchup. Let's see, starting on the far right, he's got a unit of direwolves, then he's got everything bunched in the middle, and I should say, by the way, that this was a hidden deployment. We had a big piece of cardboard in between us, and we both just deployed, not knowing what the other person was doing. So he set up right in the middle. He's got from right to left a unit of zombies, unit of graveguard, behind it a mortis engine, corpse cart, big unit of ghouls. Behind him, he's got a unit of zombies with a level 4 necromancer with a lore of undeath. Another um, another unit of zombies, then another mortis engine behind it, and then he's got his tricked out vampire lord on a zombie dragon. Now that's rough. I find this a very interesting list. I think that if I had an unlimited amount of time and unlimited number of turns, I'm really, really, really confident that I can table this list. But those units are kind of big, and I'm afraid to get into combat with them until that zombie dragon's dead. At least that's what I was thinking. So, anyway, here on the left, I've got a unit of archers. There are points in this game for controlling more table quarters. So, these guys over here, I'm hoping they're just ignored and I can go up and just claim table quarters with them. Otherwise, there's nothing I need these guys for. Then I kind of put myself in the back right corner to give me some time so I can shoot at that zombie dragon before having to get in combat with it. I have to admit, I'm not worried about getting in a fight with his lord against my lord, my archlector, because I have the speculum. But throw the zombie dragon in there, and that changes everything. So I've got 4 demigryphs with Captainus behind him, my Hurricanum, 12 Inner Circle Knights with Archlector with a Speculum. He's got like the Biting Blade and 1-up armor save. Got my BSB with a 1-up rerollable armor save. Hullblaster Volley Gun, Cannon, Master Engineer, 39 Halberdiers with 2 5-man detachments. I've got a level 1 Lore of Heavens in the front one, and he has Comet, which I thought was nice. And I've got a level 4 Lore of Metal. Lore of Metal is not going to do me a whole lot of good this game, but +1 to hit is always good. I have that. Final Trans is a possibility. I have 3 more Demigryphs, and then another cannon in the back right corner. I win the turn to go first. So I send Capsis from the left to the right. I really just want him behind my opponent's lines, and maybe he can charge a Mortis Engine or do something over there. I don't want him anywhere near the zombie dragon. And over here, yeah, the archers are just... I don't want the archers to be too tempting of a target. I want them to be ignored, to be honest. So we go to the shooting phase. I don't think Magic did anything. And he put his direwolves up where the... I think they could Vanguard, I think. They're up where the... well, no, certainly they were. Where the Hellblaster could hit them. And we had this a very friendly argument. I'm like, man, move them back, please. I don't. If you didn't mean to do that, just move them back. And because it was a tournament, my opponent was saying, no, I don't want to be that way. And I'm like, no, really, I don't care. Move. I'm not worried about your direwolves. And he kept them there, so I shot them to hell, and they're gone. So we shoot both cannons at the zombie dragon. Both of them hit, and I do the vampire lord has a 4-up ward save. He makes both of them. Again, I'm not that worried about the Lord. I'm worried about the Zombie Dragon. I do 5 wounds to it, which is okay, except the Vampire Lord, can heal wounds every time there's a successful spell cast, and so it might get frustrating trying to kill that thing. But at the moment, that thing's down to 1 wound. So we go to Vampire Counts, turn 1, and he moves up, as you can see. I'm pretty sure on my turn 1 I cast the Comet, and you just can't see it now, but it's basically where his Graveguard are. So everything is like that. Now it's Empire turn 2. So that makes it look like Vampire Counts turn 1 is really fast. It wasn't fast at all. The Mortis engines took forever to trying to, rolling up, rolling distances, marking all the units who has the regen save and stuff like that. I'm not complaining about it. My opponent certainly was not slow playing. I'm saying that it wasn't this fast. And he had a big magic phase, and just nothing of real significance happened. I think he healed a wound or two on a zombie dragon, but we are well into the game by this point. So we go to Empire turn 2. Capsis flies up to the right. The only thing I can really think to do with him is to charge his Mortis engines. If nothing else, if he can kill them, fantastic. If he can't, if he can just hold them up so they're not near his lines, that's going to keep me from having to deal with regen saves with those guys. Yeah, otherwise I'm kind of moving up and to the right with my halberdiers. You can see what everybody's doing. Over here, yeah, we shoot these guys again, and again his Vampire Lord makes both of his saves. His zombie dragon makes a 6-up regen save, and then I hit it with another cannonball, but I rolled like 1 wound. So he's still sitting there with like 1 or 2 wounds remaining, which is all he really needs. Still scaring me, so a little bit nervous there. We go to Vampire Counts turn 2, and he keeps on trudging forward. I mean, I don't know why he's not coming a little more aggressively at me. I don't know what matchups he's looking for. I know that I would love to get any of my knights, demis or regular knights, into his core troops, except I don't want my regular knights in against his Graveguard. Other than that, I'm not really worried about any of the combat situations. I don't love the idea of his ghouls against my halberdiers, because he outnumbers me and they're just better. Other than that, I'm not really worried about stuff. So the magic phase, yeah, he raises some crypt horrors, and otherwise kind of playing around. And he raises a redirecting unit right in front of my knights. I wasn't really keen on throwing my knights into those crypt ghouls. I'm not really afraid of it, but it's just, after the charge, it's just a real slow grind. And again, I've got a comet up there, and now it's Empire turn 2, so I think I have 2 comets on the board right now. So I'm not anxious. I'm hanging back partly because I don't want to land on top of my own comet. So we get an Empire turn 3. And at this point, there's not a lot of time left to play the game. There's still time, maybe an hour left. So, so you can see I'm kind of moving around the right. I made a mistake with my halberdiers. I think they're closer to the crypt ghouls than I realized they were. So it's a makeable charge, which isn't fantastic. Capsis charges one of the Mortis engines, and I don't know how he's going to do. I think he'll be okay. I'm kind of curious, but I'm pretty confident, if nothing else, he can just hold that thing up for a while. Yeah, so there's Capsis being a hero. I think my opponent, excuse me, didn't realize I could make that charge at first. I think he was trying to make it to where I couldn't charge in. I was in his front, and I could fly straight ahead and wheel once, and I could touch his corner and make it. So again, we were in a situation where I'm like, well, if that's not what you meant to do, we can change things around. And he's like, no, it's a tournament. I don't want to do that. So I try to be like that too. My opponent was being very gracious, I guess is the word, not wanting to change things. So looks like that. I hit the cannon again on this thing, and finally his zombie dragon goes down, and is finally, after 6 ward save attempts, his lord has a wound. And actually, I say that because I see a wound counter there. I take that back. That's not true. He's made 6 out of 6 ward saves. That die is not a wound. That die says that he has a 6-up regen. So yeah, ignore that. The ward saves, he's made 6 out of 6 ward saves. The good news is, all I was really concerned about was the dragon. Now I really want to get in combat with my knights and his lord. Now this is closed list, so he doesn't know that I have the speculum. So I might be able to get in there without him, really trying to avoid it. I'm finding that a lot of people think that Capsis has a speculum, which isn't a bad idea because he can go around and choose his fights better. Now, in case some of the pictures are weird, the lights went out. The lights went out in the hall we were in. So our table was one of a few that actually had a little bit of light to go by, but some of the pictures are bad. So this is kind of funny. The Hellblaster volley gun opens up on this little redirecting unit, point blank range, and I do like 2 wounds. It was awful. After combat, yeah, I think I win. I think that thing takes a couple wounds, but for the most part, we just stick around. Vampire Counts turn 3. So now things are getting interesting. The Crypt Ghouls make the charge to my Halberdiers. I'm really mad at myself. The Hurricanum's not there to support them. There's no magic buffs on them, and they're just going to get their butts handed to them. Probably the most I can hope for is for them to flee and get away and bounce through. I have two detachments. They could bounce through them and be completely safe behind them. But the problem with that is the crypt ghoul, the ghouls are going to be right in my business. So I'm really kind of upset at myself making that mistake on the right. Otherwise, he takes his vampire lord and puts him into a unit. So now he's not vulnerable to cannon fire. So now I just need to get him into a combat with my knights. Yeah, so there's that. So then the comet goes off. Remember, I have two comets on the board, and I think both of them went off in the same turn. So look at his grave guard are greatly depleted. Now I'm not worried about that unit at all. I mean, I probably wouldn't take my knights in there, but I'd really like to get my demigryphs in against them, and certainly my halberds, but they're kind of getting their ass handed to them at the moment. Um, so when they go off, it kills one of the mortis engines. It kills the corpse cart. I think it does one wound to Captasis, and Captasis has another wound from the combats he's been in. So during the magic phase, my opponent casts the movement spell on the other mortis engine, and I'm like, I don't care. I mean, whatever. So he turns the thing around, faces Captasis, and then during the shooting phase, he does a shooting thing attack on him where you take a leadership test on 3 dice. And I didn't know it had that. Otherwise, I probably would have stopped that spell. And yeah, he kills Captasis. Now, Captasis is on 1 wound, so I'm not sure how much good he was going to do, but certainly bummed to see him go. And these pictures are really weird because we're playing in the dark. Yeah, but that's a lot of the damage done because of the comets. All these units are so manageable now. I just need to be able to get my guys into them. And now I'm kind of kicking myself for not being more aggressive with the demigryph knights. After combat, the crypt ghouls did about what I expected them to. I broke from combat, and the funny thing is I rolled like a 4, and they rolled a 3. So, I mean, that was the best of all worlds. Now my guys can rally, and the crypt ghouls aren't right up in my business. I can get my wizards and all my stuff. I can use, I can do something now. So, yeah, so we go to Empire turn 4, and yeah, so I go ahead and charge my knights into the zombies, because now I'm not worried about getting countercharged, because he has a unit with his vampire lord, but I don't care. Bring him in, whatever. On the left, I'm not really charging my demis into anything, because if I charge the zombies on the left, I don't want his crypt horrors to charge my knights in the flank. So, and I don't want to charge those guys in the front and then get countercharged in the flank um, by the zombies. And actually, I mean, that wouldn't be the end of the world. I just don't see it as being necessary. So I just kind of reform him such that he can charge me, everything's in the front, and I think we'll be okay. Matter of fact, I think I would do so many wounds if he charges me in the front, I'll do so many wounds to zombies that I'll probably just crumble the crypt horrors. Anyway, Halberdiers rally, so appreciate that, guys. I back up. I'm going to go back one. I back up with the demigryph knights so that I can countercharge the crypt ghouls in the flank, should everybody still be around. Now, at least I have the buff up, and now I have a magic phase to buff those halberdiers, so maybe we can be okay there. This is a horrible picture because of the light. I think that's just a close-up of the knights combat. Hellblaster opens up on the grave guard. They're down to 3 models. Now I'm not worried about it. Any unit I have can kill the rest of those guys off. My Hellblaster can kill them off. Hell, my cannons could probably kill that unit off at this point. After combat, of course, we just reform. We're facing his general's unit. I'm like, bring it. Bring it. The general's unit is on the left, of course. Directly in front of us is a small unit with his level 4 necromancer. So we go to vampire counts. Turn 4. The crypt ghouls go into halberdiers again. It looks like on the left I got charged, but I don't remember that. I don't think he charged. I think he just moved straight up in front of my 4 demigryphs, just so I can't really do anything else, and I'm actually okay with that. As long as those demis are protecting my flank, I think I'll be okay. His vampire lord is now in that unit directly in front of my knights, which I'm thrilled. Now I can charge in. I think I'll kill his vampire lord, but even if I don't, his vampire lord is not going to kill my archlector, and I'm going to get so much combat res, I think I'll just pop him. So I think I've got the game right there. There's this. Now I have some buffs up, so I'm confident it'll go better, at least. And I don't know what this is showing. Yeah, I don't know. Of course, that was his necromancer out there, by the way. After magic phase, you can see I think that picture I'm showing is he's moving and growing his units. So his graveguard are back up to like I think 9 guys now. I'm still not really that worried about him. And after combat, yeah, these guys they do a lot better. They stick around, and we can countercharge the demigryphs into the flank of the crypt ghouls. My only fear here is that the crypt ghouls do so many wounds to the halberdiers that the demigryphs just lose combat by a lot. That's my only fear. Other than that, I'm really confident how things are going to go. Um, my Night Bus gets into his general's unit. I'm going to kill that Vampire Lord. Very excited about that. And once that happens, everything starts crumbling. I think I've got the Mortis engine. I think, this is I think between crumbling and the Hellblaster volley gun, I've got his Grave Guard. I can probably use the cannon and snipe his level 4. I'm really confident at this point. There's that. And we go in, and right as we're about to fight this combat, the tournament or one of the tournament organizers comes over, and they're like, "Wherever you're at, when you're done with combat, dice down, time's up." And I was like, "Shit, time got away from me." I knew we got off to such a slow start, but we got into the game, and we didn't. Neither one of us saw it coming. So we get into the challenge. My Urge Selector just totally slaps around his Vampire Lord. My Knights absolutely annihilate the unit. Everything there dies. Actually, I take that back. I don't remember if I killed his Vampire Lord or not. I might have done a couple wounds to him, but after combat res, certainly everything's dead right there. And then we did quick tests, and not a whole lot of things died. And the game ends. So it was like a 15-point win for me. Again, you can get up to 25, so it certainly doesn't land me on the top tables. I think, if we could have finished the game, I think I would have had a few more points, but it wasn't going to be like a 25-0 or anything. I played too cautiously, and in hindsight, I don't know if I'm happy with that or not. The problem is by the time I felt like I had him to a point where I could handle the combats, there was only 3 turns left in the game, and I've got to get to combat and all that kind of stuff. So, but I'll take a 15-point win of game 1 of a tournament. It lands me still in a decent position, but I'm not at the top tables facing the toughest of lists. So I was happy enough with it. Kudos to my opponent. He went on and won second place in this tournament overall. This is a 118-person tournament, took second place. So he lost this game, but he obviously won his remaining 4. So good job to him. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I truly hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has a variety of functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like or comment on the video, you can favorite it, you can share it, and of course you can subscribe to the channel. And I encourage you to do any or all of those things as a way of interacting between viewer and producer. As always, I appreciate your patronage on the channel and wish you all the best.